thank you all so much for coming to the third Startup Founder Showcase of the Violet Society. Woo! You pumped? Friday night? Yeah! All right, so for those of you who don't know or are a little unsure, the Violet Society is a peer mentorship community for wildly ambitious female and non-binary people in technology. And this is our third Founder Fellowship. So woo! We have some alums from cohorts 1 and 2 here. Cohort 1, you want to raise your hands? And cohort 2, you want to raise your hands? So we created the Violet Society to give talented people the resources and support they need to raise the ceiling on their ambitions. I think there's a lot of resources for female and non-binary people in tech to make some connections and learn some new things. But the thing that we really want to do differently with these fellowships, which are 10 weeks long, super hands-on, and only 10 to 15 people, is make people say, I thought that I could reach here, but I can actually reach all the way up here. So that's kind of the idea. This summer, we had 2 concurrent fellowships, one for startup founders and one for product managers. Shout out to the PM cohort. We had 9 awesome guest speakers, including some alums. And there were inspiring founders with different paths to the top. And we had 3 social mixers and socials with Violet alums, B Partners VC firm, shout out to Kira, who will spotlight in a minute, and the On Deck Fellowship. So a little bit more about what we did during this cohort. In the beginning, we had an all-day kickoff where everyone got to know each other, meet people from the other cohort, and plan out their own careers and their goals. Then for 10 weeks, we had weekly 3-hour meetings after work. Super long day, but it was worth it because we did a mastermind, had a guest speaker, and got to know each other. And then we had mixers and socials in between on the weekends and other evenings that we could hang out and become friends too. So here are some of our featured guests. Maybe some of them will be familiar faces. Tracy Lawrence from Choose, Joe Varshney from Verisym Life, Tanya Menendez, previously Makers Row, now Snowball Wealth, and a few more. We're so honored that we had really successful and inspiring founders come speak as our guests. And then here is the leadership team. So I started this last year, and then if each person can intro themselves and say hi.
Hey everyone, I'm Nivi. I help run operations for Violet, and I also did the founder cohort in the winter. It was an amazing experience, so I decided to get involved.
Hi, I'm Megan. I do marketing here, and I've been here for almost a year, and I have no intentions of leaving.
Same. I'm Allison. I also help run operations. I went through the founder cohort. Last cohort, didn't want it to end. It's not ending.
Hi everyone, I'm Fiona. I do design and marketing. I like taking photos, and there's a camera in the back there, so we'll have everything recorded. Yeah, I love all these girls so much, and I'm super excited to see all of these presentations.
And now I want to welcome our advisor,
Everyone, it's great to be here. It's great to see a full house. I'm Kira. I work at B Partners. We've been hosting Violet now 2 cohorts, and we're a pre-seed firm. Are the first check-in and look at sectors like robotics and blockchain and synthetic biology. Have a worldview that machines will win. But what's probably more important about our firm is that we have a hands-on partnership model, and we really love working with our founders and supporting them. And 70% of our teams get to Series A, which is a fun fact to share, and that leads me to why Violet. And at our firm, we're really excited about supporting communities. And so that's female founder communities, and there's also an alumni community out of Cal Berkeley that we support. And why Violet a little broader than that is only 2% of the venture capital funding in 2018 went to women. How much does that suck? So we're talking about $130 billion, and around 3 went to women. And my goal, being in venture, would be, or my aspiration is to see just as many women pitching for money as men. And so the way I think we're going to get there are through communities like this. And that's why I'm so excited to see tonight's presentations, and I hope you are too. Thank you, Kira.
So we would love it if you shared lots of things about this event on social media. We're pretty easy to find if you look for Violet Society on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn. You can use this hashtag all evening or tomorrow, whenever you want. Wake up, tweet about the Violet Society. We're not going to argue with you. So it's pretty easy to remember. I don't even think you have to take a picture with your phone, but hashtag the Violet Society. So tonight's agenda, we're going to have member presentations. We're going to have a few member presentations and then a break halfway through and then more. And then we'll tell you a little bit more about what's next for Violet and our fall fellowships. And then after that, when it's over, you can continue to mix and mingle like you did at the beginning and enjoy our delicious food and drinks, some provided by DLA Piper. Thanks so much, and let's get started with Samantha Taylor.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time on this Friday night when you could be getting very drunk at a bar, doing something, whatever other people do on Friday night. So, hi, hello there. My name is Samantha, and a little brief background about me before we jump into my company. So, undergrad at USC, I'm currently in the MBA program at Berkeley Haas. I just finished my first year and have one more year left to go. Before coming to Berkeley, I worked at Aldi, which is a very large German grocery conglomerate, and this spring semester I participated in the Launch Accelerator program at Berkeley. And a fun random fact about me, I love singing in the car and often make up the words to the songs when I don't know what the words are. So now diving into the company. So what is Tanner's Tea? Tanner's Tea creates sugar-free liquid matcha concentrates that are designed to be a healthier alternative to your daily caffeinated beverage. And a little bit of background on matcha, for those of you who do not know or are just avid coffee drinkers and have never ventured into the matcha world. So matcha caffeine stays in your system for 6 to 8 hours compared to coffee, and that's generally around 3 to 4 hours. Matcha also has 165 times the amount of antioxidants as a standard cup of green tea alone. And in 2018, matcha was the #1 fastest growing food and beverage category on Amazon. And what makes us different? So our matcha mission has been to create a first-to-market, sugar-free liquid matcha concentrate. It has 80 milligrams of caffeine per serving. It's keto, paleo, Whole30 friendly, so it doesn't have any of the added sugar or emulsifiers that every other matcha concentrate has on the market. And it saves over 50% of the prep time compared to using matcha powder alone. So our competition, you'll see us over on your left side, and the other competitors, you have, of course, the matcha liquid, which has, of course, over at least 17 grams of sugar per serving, and the jade leaf matcha is an example of the powder matcha, which takes a long time to prepare. It's messy, and we're delivering on the convenience and, of course, the health benefits as well. And as we expand into markets and we're developing relationships, at least in the East Bay right now, one of our biggest focus points is our Instagram following and getting our name out there. So as of now, we have over 2,350 Instagram followers. We're on Amazon through FBA and Prime Shipping. We developed a Facebook group and how-to videos on YouTube. And our Matcha Hustle, this is a little bit of a timeline on our company. We started in December of 2018. Also in December of 2018, after going through a full launch, we became a final top 6 finalist in the BevNet pitch competition for new beverages. And we placed in the top 6 top new beverages in the country for all of 2018. As I had mentioned earlier, we participated in launch. We found a co-packer to work with. I got the product onto Amazon, and since then we've been really focusing our market strategy to go into cafes and restaurants in the East Bay, scaling those accounts, and we've gotten some awesome media and PR based on our differences in the market and what we hope to bring on the health side. So we were featured in Forbes, Oakland Magazine, and we were a vendor at Renegade Craft Fair and gave away over 3,000 samples of product. So Violet's impact on me. Violet has been such an incredible opportunity, but these are just my top reasons and top experiences that I've had with Violet. So first, I love speaking openly with like-minded, badass women who are starting awesome companies. It's been such a great experience, and I am so glad I've been participating in it. I've loved the sharing of resources as well, having a group of women that comes together on a once-a-week basis to just be open, share not only contacts, but their network from their undergrad or their current work experiences, and sharing ideas. And both of those come together to form the Violet difference. So number one being empowerment and feeling as though not only do I have these friendships and people that I can now turn to when I'm going through hard times, but I personally feel empowered and professionally feel empowered as well. Deep connections and the personal growth. So as I look forward to expanding Tanner's Tea, number one is launching a Kickstarter, looking to raise around $20,000 in the next few months for that, raising a pre-seed, and as I have a second year over at Berkeley Haas, looking to start with the more student-friendly venture funds in the area, and a line extension. I love matcha, but I'm not dedicated to just being a matcha queen. I want to be a tea concentrate queen. So it's turmeric concentrates and chai concentrates as well. And thank you so much for your time. These are some ways to connect with me at Tanner's Tea on Instagram, and thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Susie, and today I'm going to talk to you about a project Tepeando, which literally means typing, like at a keyboard. I took the liberty of using a word in English and a word in Spanish to come up with this unique spelling. I'll start telling you a little bit about myself. I'm a first generation college student and Mexican American. I grew up in Tijuana, Mexico, and moved to Boulder, Colorado to study creative technology with a focus in education. And this is a picture of me at a makerspace, if you're wondering why that picture, which is where I spent all of my free time in college. But moving to Boulder was interesting for me. Not only was I leaving behind the border town bubble that I had grown up in, but I was venturing into engineering, where I'm never going to forget these computer science classes where I started. Nobody there looked like me or had any type of similarities to me. A lot of them didn't even know the town where I was coming from, which was shocking too. But eventually, things got better. I started volunteering for an outreach program where I was working with Latino kids and trying to introduce them to technology from an earlier age. And this was really fun, but at the same time, I was always wondering as to why me and my friends didn't have something similar growing up. Maybe if we did, we would have had a larger number of Latinos in tech today, which I'm going to share a sad and low number, just like Kira did earlier, but this one is for Latinas in tech. Of the entire computer science related work field, only 2% of that workforce is made up by Latinos in tech. That is such a sad and scary number because representation does matter. Which is why I wanted to start working on Tepeando, which is a digital community for Latinas in tech, but more than anything, for women who are interested in technology. Through a monthly newsletter and an Instagram blog, I share events and resources that are happening in the Bay Area and in the rest of the country. This is everything from scholarships to meetups, speaker series, or conferences that are happening in the rest of the country. On top of using this platform to gather resources, I wanted to use it to showcase the amazing stories that badass Latinas in engineering are doing. And with this, an example of Stephanie. Just like myself, she is a first-generation Mexican American, and her story was very inspiring to me. And you can all read it next month if you follow me. What I'll tell you about her story, it was that it helped me relate. What I learned from her is that it's okay to not have the perfect situation right now, but that through hard work and dedication, we can all get there. And I hope that you guys get inspired by her, that she inspires other Latinas, and more importantly, younger generation of Latinos who might someday be that first generation college students, maybe that first generation engineers. And now a little bit about Violet. From week to week, we heard from really cool female founders in the Bay Area. And aside from getting inspired, I learned to understand that, so aside aside from getting inspired by them, it just helped me feel the importance of telling our stories and knowing that even though we all have ups and downs, if we connect through a community, we can all support each other. So this is kind of what inspired me trying to tell Latinas in tech stories, just to inspire others and letting them know that it's okay. For future plans, I want to keep collaborating with Latino communities in the Bay Area to meet Latinas so I can keep showcasing them, but also just growing this community and hopefully inspiring our younger Latinos. So with that, I thank you for coming today, and if you know any Latinas in tech, please send them my way. And I would love to know their stories and hopefully share them with you someday. So, thank you.
So, hi everyone, I'm Danica, and we're about to get real personal real fast. Are you ready? All right, so first off, just some professional stuff. I like to think of myself as a professional, let's say, enthusiast, which is a nice way of saying that my career has taken many twists and turns. I've worked across product, marketing, growth at a Belgian beer importer, a marketplace company, an Internet of Things car company, real estate tech, and ed tech. This is a very long way of saying that I love beer. At one point, my goal was to drink beer, and if you would like to get beer after this, please see me. Next up, I'm a podcast addict. So I love podcasts that are deep and philosophical, like On Being, podcasts about tech, pop culture, like Reply All. I binge listen to too many true crime podcasts, especially in the dark when I'm walking home, which is maybe not the best combination. And if anyone is interested in learning about the American education system and the systemic issues that the education system faces, you should check out Get School, which is actually Nivi's podcast. And I'm an egg freezer. Right? So last year I froze my eggs. This was a process that was much harder than anticipated for actually a lot of really silly reasons. And so when I was up at 3 a.m. Googling, egg freezing, early morning sickness, hot flashes, normal, question mark. I found myself in very bad places of the internet. For those of you who are not familiar with mommy boards, they are like Yahoo Answers for your body. It's not good. But that said, I realized that this wasn't a problem that was particular to me and egg freezing. My friends who had been going through IVF, who were pregnant or had just given birth, would basically tell me similar stories, right? It's very hard to find a good source of truth, trustworthy information, and a solid community. So, that's why I'm starting Fertility, a company that creates media, community, and products to help women navigate fertility, career, and lifestyle. So, I'm building out Fertility in 3 phases. The first phase is content, and that means content curation and creation. So, by curation, gathering quality content, that isn't ranking well because, as you might imagine, UCSF, great with science, not so much with SEO. And when it comes to content creation, well, I'm launching a podcast that documents every season is 8 to 10 episodes, focuses on one step of the fertility journey. So egg freezing is what I'm starting with because it's what I know intimately. But there's room for IVF, first, second, third trimester, etc. And if you're wondering, well, why podcasts? When you're up at 3 a.m. and you're Googling weird things, you do in part want information, but you also want shared experience, and I think more than anything, you want to know that you're not alone. And the human voice is a very powerful and honest medium. And I mean, podcasts are fun, right? So, the next step is to build community. And that means community that's not just online, but community that's in the real world, because fertility is, by nature, a physical thing. And the last step is to build product. And there's thousands of products that could be built, but I want to make sure that that products actually hinge on the first 2 phases, to make sure that products are really what users want and need.